Hello fellow gamers, Jim here, and welcome to Strawberry Jam Chapter 1. I am so excited to be here, about to set off on this journey with you all, so without further ado, let's jump in. Right, so here's a file I set up earlier. You can see it's got a 69 in there, so it is the nicest of all save files. If you're wondering what cheat mode is, by the way, it unlocks everything in the base game, which is obviously super useful, but for my purposes it also unlocks the berry tracker in the pause menu in individual levels, which will be helpful. Right, this is a fresh file. We'll start on the prologue, just like in the real game. You can already hear those dulcet tones. Just let that atmosphere sink in. So pretty. Anyway, as we work our way through this ancient ruin of wonder and mystery, if you hadn't clocked yet, I'm going to be playing through a mod of the game, which is obviously not the base game. It is essentially fan-made DLC. You use a version of Celeste called Everest, which you'll have seen the start screen of, and you download that and download the mod itself. Now, you can only do this on PC, so if you have a console version of Celeste and you wanted to, like, I don't know, play along or experience this yourself, well, go and buy the game again. It's unfortunately, there isn't a way around it just yet on console. However, it's worth doing because, you know, it's a great game and it deserves your support. It is also worth noting that even though this is a fan-made DLC, it is endorsed, if not like officially supported, by the actual creators of Celeste. And there's even a live stream of them, of a couple of them, including Maddie herself, playing through Strawberry Jam when it was first released. Absolutely based. Right. You guys ready? Take it in. Listen to that ambiance. And ascend. Oh, gets me every time. Just look at all this. Oh, listen to this music. If you do own this on PC and don't mind the thought of downloading mods and installing random files onto your computer, go and do it straight away. Stop watching this. Go and enjoy this. There's only one chance you'll get to see it blind, and it's such a good experience. Watch the credits. No, not just yet. Thank you. You honestly, it's super easy to download. You don't need a load of technical know-how, and I'm not going to go over the details here, but I'll link a video in the description, literally called "How to Install Strawberry Jam," and it gives you everything that you need. I strongly recommend you do that. If you are interested in playing this at all, do yourself a massive favour and play it before you watch someone else play it, because, oh man, it's so good. Now, if you are, if you are what? No, the other thing I wanted to say was, this is not my first playthrough of Strawberry Jam, and so it's not going to be a blind reaction or anything like that. I have played through it, almost all of it, in the past. I beat the first 4 lobbies, made some progress on the last one, and I just wanted to let you know so that I don't, sell you on a promise that isn't to be. That said, I hope that will give me a chance to use this as a sort of a guide or walkthrough, especially for the early game. Yeah, but I still think we're going to have a good time together. If you do want a blind playthrough, I'd recommend either Indie Game Chris, who was I would say a more casual Celeste enjoyer, whose playthrough I actually watched and really enjoyed. So Indie Game Chris was good fun, and then also Parrot Dash has a playthrough on YouTube. Parrot Dash is a bit more of a Celeste expert, shall we say, and so they kind of like breeze through the game quite quickly, which is also fun to watch in its own way. Yeah, so okay, this big old strawberry. So with that said, I think that was all my preamble. Let's go. And here we are at our 5 lobbies and the prologue again, if you want to experience that beauty at any time. But yes, the 5 lobbies. We have the beginner, the intermediate, the advanced, the expert, and the grandmaster, which I believe is how they rank people in chess, maybe? Or certainly in Scrabble, which is apparently a thing. Competitive Scrabble, who knew? Anyway, let's jump on into the beginner lobby before we worry too much about the later ones. Hopefully we will get there soon enough. Oh yes, and you can see we emerge into this wonderful, well, I call it a lobby. It is like an open world area where all the different levels you can find in these little jam jars scattered about the place. And I just think it's such a nice way of experiencing the Celeste DLC. Over here we have the journal, so you'll be familiar with the journal from the base game. Well, here we can see a list of all the levels in the lobby, and also it introduces us to the way they do intra lobby difficulty gradients. So within the lobby itself, the levels are split even further into green, yellow, and red, which you can see on the little gauges next to their names in the journal, which tell you how they compare to each other within the lobby. So all the green beginner levels are as easy as they get, and then the red beginner levels are the hardest you can find in the lobby, but they will all still be easier than the green intermediate levels, which we'll find in the next lobby. At least in theory, obviously, difficulty is subjective. So that's nice, and you can also see things like the berries you've collected, total deaths, lowest deaths, the total amount of time in any given level, and the fastest completion, again, which are things you can find in the base game. So that's nice. Right, down here is another fantastic addition to SJ. So it's a bench. If we jump on the bench, we can see it opens this map, which I think is fantastic. You can see a couple of icons. You can see where you are. You can see the uncleared level that I found earlier is in the top there, in the green lid jam jar. So it also tells you that it's green, as we just discussed in terms of difficulty. You can also see that weight lift, or that dumbbell icon, which we're going to go investigate shortly. And then also, as you unlock more of these benches, they act as a fast travel around the lobby, which is, again, fantastic. And then you can actually travel between lobbies once you open up the later lobbies maps as well. Now, what do we see here? Gym tech tutorial. So this is my favorite thing about the structure of Strawberry Jam, I think, is that each lobby has these gyms where they teach you, or they don't, well, they do teach you, but they sort of, it explains the level of gameplay mechanic you are expected to know in order to beat the levels in this lobby. So let's jump into the beginner gym. I think that's mostly what I wanted to cover in this video, is just explain things and then go into the gym and show it off. So we've got a few things. Gyms are tutorial areas that teach you techniques you need to know for Strawberry Jam maps. Each difficulty has its own gym that teaches different techniques. Gym sections are divided into several subsections, each showcasing a different form or usage of the technique. Some gym sections have one or two final challenges which test all of the forms of the technique you learned in the previous subsections. Upon completing a subsection, you can activate a touch switch to unlock a teleport back to that subsection. There are playbacks in each section to visually demonstrate the techniques. You can use the toggle playbacks hotkey bound in mod options to turn them on or off. The default bind is back or tab. Didn't know that. There you go. I'm learning things myself. The library, which I haven't explained yet. The library explains a variety of game mechanics and physics quirks that do not fit into the regular gyms. This knowledge is useful and in some cases required for certain maps, so it is advised to visit the relevant sections as you progress. For more information about the library, enter it and read the sign in its hub. Yeah, I will show the library in a bit, but I want to show the beginner lobby first. Right, so there's only a couple of things that the beginner lobby wants you to know how to do that you might not know just from playing the base game. So, cloud jump, let's jump on in. When you step on a cloud, it will briefly move down before recording upwards, giving you a small vertical boost. Jumping while the cloud is moving upwards will instead give you a large vertical boost. For the largest possible boost, try to jump when the cloud is at its highest point. So another thing about this playthrough that I would like to adhere to is to only use the techniques in these gyms. Now, I've played a lot of Celeste. I'm very au fait with some of the harder stuff you can do. You know, I can do ultras, I can do reverse tech. So for the beginner lobby, I don't want to do that. I want to just show off the gameplay you'd expect to be able to do and talk you through it. If you jump immediately after landing on a cloud, you will not get the boost. See, this is something the base game doesn't teach you. Pink clouds will disappear when you jump or walk off them, allowing you to fall through. Yeah. Nice. And this is what the sign earlier meant about subsections, by the way. So you can see these teleport blocks here. So if you jump in there, it'll take you to the relevant section. If you jump back in, it'll take you to there, and you can leave entirely with the white one. Right, so we're nearly done with this section. Ah, yeah, so this is the final challenge. So let's see how I get on. Hey, no dramas. Cool, so that was cloud jumping, very useful to know. Theo basics. You can see we've got quite a few subsections here. You can grab Theo while he is on the ground, or in midair. Collect this touch switch and catch Theo as he falls. Very good. Dashing into Theo while holding grab allows you to pick him up while preserving your momentum. Excellent. Thank you, Theo. Thank you for your sacrifice. You cannot grab walls while holding Theo. However, you can still wall jump. Top stuff. You can move in mid-air while holding Theo. If Theo touches a red barrier in this section, he will be destroyed. Oh. The final challenge. Very good. So that's a bit cheeky. They didn't really explain this, but I suppose it's sort of. Oh wait. Nice. Very good. Alright, now we move on to these two. Dream jump. To perform a dream jump, press jump as you exit a dream block. Now the base game does teach you this. I think it was in 2B, maybe? Dream jumps can also be performed after moving diagonally through a dream block. However, you cannot dream jump after moving vertically through a dream. Ah, interesting. There you go, bet you didn't know that. The base game never requires you to do that, I don't think. Maybe it does. And another final challenge, which is pretty cool. Excellent. Good fun. Okay, and then the final thing in the gym is the dream grab. To perform a dream grab, hold the opposite horizontal direction and grab while moving through a dream block. When you exit the dream block, you will immediately grab onto its side. Again, I think the base game did require that. Maybe in the C side? 2C? You can also perform a dream grab after moving diagonally through a dream block. Whoops. Oh, it doesn't give you a viewer. Cool. Excellent. And that is all the techniques from the beginner gym that the game requires you to know that you might not from just having played the base game, which is pretty cool. Now, just before we go, I want to show you the library. So the library is, if you are an ultimate Celeste nerd and want to increase your knowledge, the library is the place to go. You can see all of this craziness. And we've got stuff that just sounds bonkers, man. Okay, speed. I get speed. Input buffering. Interesting. Frames. Okay, again, I get that. Jump control. Alright. Hitboxes. Friction. Falling speed. Coyote time, block boosts, dash speed, dash attack, dash spacing, delayed block boosts, ultra mechanics. So look, I'm not going to go into any of these in this playthrough. Just be aware that they exist because it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and the other thing is this lets you change from night to day. But why you would ever go with the flashbang of the day format? Oh, look at this. Oof. Yeah. You're all right. Thank you, mate. Cool. Okay, and then in order to leave, you can either return to lobby. So the menu has been expanded to have a return to lobby button, which is nice. Or you can jump here and it takes you back to the beginner lobby. And there we are, my friends. Our SJ journey is about to begin. As I said before, I am so excited to go through this with you all. I really cannot wait. We'll check out some of the secrets, hopefully get all the berries. I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. You may or may not like this series, but what I would say is if you have the capability, which is to say a PC version of Celeste, and the comfort, which is to say that you don't mind going and downloading random files from a website you've not visited before, to play this mod, just go and do it. It is so good, it's so much fun, and you can only do it blind once. But with that said, I'm going to call it there for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.